Stop tape, please. Okay, friends, it's more Jodi. Interview, Jodi. It's about 9 hours long, so I don't think we're going to be watching the whole thing. I don't think anyone wants that. But we will cover some bits. Yeah, handcuffs behind her back. She's in a pretty comfortable interrogation room, though, huh? Pictures on the wall, a printer. You know, a printer would make you feel comfortable. Just admin stuff happens in here. Round table. So what's this tactic of hers doing? This I'm gonna put my head on the table, accentuating the fact that I'm handcuffed behind my back and am being persecuted. I guess that's it, right? Look at how I've been treated as a tiny little woman, a God-fearing woman. Apparently, when they arrested her at her grandparents' house, she was like, just came out and was like, let's go. Didn't ask why, didn't, just like, all right, showtime. Crazy girl. Switch in tactics to the, oh, I'm so casual. You could just see her doing this outside assembly, waiting to go in. Yeah, let's sit on the floor. you know. Wow. That was the summons of Satan right there. Did you see that? That was the signal. That's the signal she has to send off, and now hell will send a an envoy. Bosh! Wow. Medusa or what? Just the noise it made. Wow. She only needs to do it once as well. That's the signal. Woman detective's going to come in a second, like, get up. Sit on the chair, prisoner. That'd be a good beginning to a play, this, wouldn't it? The first 20 minutes is just this girl moving around an interrogation room. And then someone comes in. Is it her lawyer? Is it the police?
No, just keep going. Can I get you just to have a seat here?
What do you think that does to your self-esteem if you're a Siskiyou County detective? Is it low? Is it high? I don't know. Are they like really proud of their native heritage? Siskiyou County. Let's look it up.
Would you like me? No, you can take my handcuffs off. What's that? Can you take my handcuffs off? As soon as the detective gets in here, Detective Flores, he can take those off for you. I think that's what he told you anyway. He'd allow you to have your handcuffs on.
Okay, how much of that can we take, guys? Sorry, I was just checking out Siskiyou County. Well, it covers the whole of central California at the northern border with Oregon. So it's practically Oregon. All trees and winding roads. Yeah, I bet they're really proud of it if you're a detective from Siskiyou County. You're like, yeah, we've got Highway 5. We can be in Redding in 2 hours. Will they bring it to me? My people, do I have people now? Will my people bring it to me? You know, I think on some level, she's like, listen, Detective Flores, I'm about to skyrocket your career, okay? I'm hot stuff, and the media is going to be all over me, which means they're going to be all over you, Detective Flores. Everyone's going to want a piece of your shit. You'll probably make captain. Oh no, technical difficulties. technical difficulties. Shit. Yeah, fast forward to handstand. Well, the detectives come in now. We have to stick with it. But we have to remove this and then share again. How's that, guys? But can you hear me, Neverly? Where is our presents? There it is.
Do you remember me?
Of course I do.
I traveled all the way up here to come talk to you.
Yeah, the sound should be back now, guys, right? On the video.
Because, I've been working on Travis's case ever since it happened.
Mhm.
Okay, and I know exactly when it happened, when he was killed. I know a lot of details. And just recently we found quite a bit of evidence. And I'll discuss that with you. The main thing that I'm looking for, though, is answers on why certain things happened, why they went so far, and also to get your statements.
Okay.
A lot of details on this case that haven't been released to the public and not even to Travis's family. And those details are known only by us and the person who did it. Okay, and that's one of the reasons I'm here, is because I believe that you know some of these details.
Okay.
And I think you can help us.
I would love to help you in any way that I can.
Okay.
Detectives like, okay, we're gonna do this, are we? Okay. You'd love to help us in any way that you can. Tell us the truth. What happened at that house?
Because we're here at the police department, the sheriff's department here in, was it Siskiyou County? That's what it was called. Okay. And you're considered under arrest or detained. You're not free to go. And I'm a police officer. I have to read you your rights. Okay. I'm sure you've heard them on TV. I have to read them off this little card here, but they're pretty much the same. And I'll explain them to you as we go, okay? Let's see. This is July 15th, 2008, correct?
Yes.
Let me see what time it is here. It's 10:01 in the morning. This is case number 2008-161-0844. Okay.
Man, it takes a while to warm up, doesn't it?
You do have the right to remain silent. Okay, anything you say may be used against you in a court of law. You have certain dates, I don't want to pressure you.
Is this recorded at all, or should we?
I don't know if there's a recording or something.
I don't know if these are voice recorders. I noticed them. If they have video, or if they have audio, or batteries, or what.
I don't think they're on.
They're really cool.
It's okay.
Still heat.
Yeah, I haven't touched those or anything, but
okay.
They're not on, so what I want to do is just get to the bottom of it. Everybody wants to know, okay? And so I'm going to ask you some questions. You can voluntarily answer them if you want. Okay, is that cool?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yes. There was some question about you being. Well, let's start with this. What have you been up to since Travis's death? What have you been doing?
Well, I've been working. I haven't been really working in prepaid legal. There's not a whole lot here in this marketplace, which is.
It's kind of small here.
It's small here, and really that could be seen as an opportunity rather than a hindrance, because that just means the market is untapped in a larger way. So I could have if I wanted to, but I'm kind of like a deer in the headlights when it comes to prepaid legal.
Man, people go on and on about Jodi Arias's intelligence, right? And she clearly is a sharp thinker, even if, it's completely detached from reality. But work-wise, what is up with that? These crummy little jobs as server, in hotels in Margaritaville. No offense to any servers, of course, but it's a job almost anyone can get at the levels that she was working at. She was stacking glasses, and her photography business. She seemed to have some kind of talent with a camera, kind of knows how to use a camera, I guess, or something like that. But what about these jobs? No jobs, no good jobs, prepaid legal. Yeah, I'm pyramid scheme, but I'm not going to do anything. I don't think she did anything with that scheme.
I have a fear of just approaching people. So I've been working at a Mexican restaurant in the north end of town. I've been kind of in a daze, at least for the first few weeks.
Like everybody,
Yeah. I know that a lot of people have been posting on Facebook really nice things, and memories. And at one point I was like, well, maybe I should do that. So I posted this thing and I just said all my memories. And I realized looking back on it that it kind of sounded immature. It's more like my Dear Travis kind of letter. And so I took it down because
personal.
Yeah, some of it was detailed, a little bit more personal. Not too personal, nothing inappropriate. Just I just felt.
And she's doing that lean towards sex topic by insisting that they don't go to that topic. Nothing inappropriate that you're not thinking of right now.
Funny, I think because I'm a photographer, I tend to communicate more through pictures. So I posted a ton of pictures that I had of him, and I have a ton more that I just can't access right now.
Matilda, well, prepaid legal was some sort of like a prescription service, subscription service. You pay a monthly fee, and then it's like legal insurance. If you need a lawyer for something in the future, it'll be taken out of your payments or something. And it's the type of business where you sign people up to sign others up, like Thrive.
And videos and things that I know his family would want. But so I posted pictures and I took that down, and I posted something last week. But other than that, I've been on Facebook and MySpace a lot, looking at his profile, looking at his pictures, reading things about his obituaries and any news updates. And there's legacy.com where you can write something about him.
God, imagine her reading his obituaries and comments people would leave in the memory book, about how broken they are. And she's like, yes, I did this. See what you get? You should have taken me to Cancun now, buddy. Bet you wish you'd taken me to Cancun now, buddy.
I've seen a lot of those postings.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize until I actually spoke with Ryan Burns. He told me, the guy that's in Utah. And we've been talking a lot. And we try not to talk about that because it's kind of like, ugh. And plus, Travis is my ex-boyfriend, but at the same time, he's my friend. So while I'm mourning my friend, how do you talk to your new potential, possible, maybe person that you might start dating about your friend, even if he was your ex-boyfriend? So it's kind of a gray area. I try not to talk about him too much, but he comes up a lot. And it was through him that I learned that he said, if you come out to Utah, things are really weird because everyone thinks that you could have had a hand.
And I've talked to a lot of people, and everybody's pointing a finger at you.
I know.
Everybody is saying, I don't understand what happened to Travis. I don't know who killed him. But you need to look at Jodi. And sometimes the simplest answers are the correct ones. And that's one of the reasons I started looking at you a little bit closer. And over the last month or so, I've gotten into Travis's life, talked to all his friends, his family. I got a really good understanding of who he is now. And I got a very good understanding of your relationship with him. And I'm kind of just putting two and two together.
Well,
and it kind of matches. So one of the reasons I'm here is to talk to you to figure out what was going on between you two. What I know the relationship that you guys had was of convenience sometimes. Obviously, you weren't boyfriend and girlfriend anymore, but you were still having a sexual relationship, which
Does his family know about that? Just curious.
No, his family doesn't know anything. Yeah.
I'm interested in protecting how he's remembered as well, and he was.
I don't want him to be remembered as a pedophile, which I will later say. It's really about his memory, like we can remember him chasing that naked 4-year-old boy, holding an open Bible and pretending to be a Catholic priest.
He was.
Well, I'm sure if Travis could speak right now, he wouldn't care what people thought about him because they knew who he was. Okay, a sexual relationship here or there, because the fact he was a member of the church really doesn't matter.
A couple times I asked him
whole range of things.
Yeah, okay. I think in the broad scope of things that could be right. I just think that the reason I care about that is because he was adamant about that. And a couple times we prayed about it, didn't work, or we didn't stick to our guns on it. And one time a girlfriend of mine just said, why don't you just go to your bishop and talk, and ask Travis the same. And I talked to him about it and he got really angry. He said, I've already had problems with this in the past. I'm embarrassed by it. I don't want to go to my bishop. And so we just kind of stopped for like a few weeks, and then that must have been in, I think it was August, and then it just resumed.
Well, the way Travis thought, by getting into his head and everything that he's written in his journals and everything I found out about him, he truly had feelings for you, and for some reason he felt that the relationship between you and him was somewhat unhealthy, but he couldn't stop it. And I assume that's probably maybe the same way you felt about him, or
it's probably,
maybe you didn't understand why he didn't believe it was healthy.
No, I didn't think it was healthy either, spiritually at least, and probably emotionally, but mostly spiritually. And I think that kind of, once you have something that's not healthy spiritually, it filters through all aspects of your life. It's one of the main, like there were three main reasons I moved back to Yreka, and one was I was in financial dire straits. I was not getting ahead. Things were not working. Everything in Arizona was like, except for the wonderful friends that I made in my ward, and the opportunity. It's like the Mormon land of opportunity there, which is awesome. But except for all that, like every sign was pointing, just go. I wasn't able to hold a job, and that had never happened before. Too much of my nightlife was about him. He would text me and, hey, I'm getting sleepy, ... Just a bunch of Z's, and that was his code to like come on over kind of thing.
Code? There's a code? What about a TV? What did it mean when he said, yeah, this TV is going to be about 5? Did that mean get over here?
The coast is clear, So, and that was just, I lived 5 minutes away, 10, maybe 10, depending, and it was just too convenient and too easy, and it was fun. And
depending on Miami traffic, it was between 5 and 10 minutes. Yeah, that's where I moved to when I snuck myself back into Arizona to say that there were work opportunities.
We had fun when we were together, and so it wasn't healthy, and I totally agree with that. So that was one of the well, financially, I wasn't doing well. I missed my family. I moved away shortly after high school, and I come back to visit, but I realized over the years I've missed out on a lot of things with my little brother and sister. I missed out on just their karate or their baseball or cheerleading or just whatever.
I missed out on their karate. Okay. Well.
And my dad is not doing well. He doesn't think he has very long to live, but he always says that. It's been that way for like a decade. He's still here.
Guy, he sounds fun. I don't think every time you see him, he's like, "How you doing, Mr. Arias? I don't think I've got long to live." Yeah, he's been saying that for years.
Goodness. My grandparents aren't getting any younger, and I just have an awesome family. And I wanted to be able to just be here for a little bit and regroup financially. I owe my parents a lot of money, and I owe my grandparents a lot of money, and I owe friends money. I owe my the guy that I bought a house with. I owe him a lot of money. He doesn't ask me for it, but I intend to pay him back because he really footed the bill on the mortgage for a few months.
Yeah, he should have seen that coming, huh? Let's buy a house together. Okay. All you've paid is half of the deposit.
And the third reason, and I like to put this third because I like to think that second to those reasons I would have been strong enough somehow. But the third reason was to put a distance, a physical distance between Travis and I, because I know that he really liked Mimi, and he said he did. He just, I kind of felt guilty. I mean, I know they weren't dating, but I just felt guilty somehow, and I didn't know Ryan at the time. I met him in March in Oklahoma City, and it was just brief. And I remember seeing him and saying, "Oh, I really want to go say hi to him," but he was surrounded by people, and he was kind of unapproachable. And he says he remembers meeting me.
Man, these events sound nuts, don't they? Like, what the hell are they doing? They get together and talk about these strange business models that they do. You know?
Too, and it wasn't until Zion, my friend, texted me, and I think I told you that.
And this is all after
This is all
you
after.
broke up.
Oh yeah.
Broke up with Travis. Everything was all over.
As far as the timeline, we broke. It was kind of a mutual thing, but I sort of more broke up with him.
Yeah.
And it was hard to do because I really loved him, but I just realized that without trust, you can't have anything, and I had violated his trust.
Is that the main reason you guys broke up? Is the trust?
Trust. I think that there's
not that the relationship was unhealthy because of the sexual activity, promiscuity, but just that you guys couldn't trust each other.
I think that, and this doesn't make it right. I think that being a convert, I've had a couple of serious relationships before where I was intimate with a few people, and it's kind of silly, but I used to always joke that regardless of what the Bible says, and yes, I'm Christian, I just live my life by the 10 Commandments, and those are my rules. Thou shalt not this or that, but it doesn't say thou shalt not fornicate. So I just used to joke about that.
Yeah, those are my rules. I just look at the Bible and I look at the 10 Commandments and they say these are my rules. Da 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 da. Thou shalt not this or that.
And it's a bad philosophy. I think that with Travis, there was a part of me that felt really guilty because there was something inside that thought you're this is nice for instant gratification, but you're destroying what you could have with Travis. And that's why we did pray about it. I remember we knelt by his bed once, and surprisingly he suggested it. Normally, I would suggest that we pray before we go on a trip or before we eat if we're alone.
That was kind of unusual for him.
Yeah, because he was very resistant to prayer with me. I mean, I think in church it would have been fine, and I feel that maybe because we were driving away the Spirit constantly. Or maybe he felt that by inviting the Spirit, he would feel guilty about later on in the evening, or I don't know what the deal was. Or the excuse he used was because I'm a convert, I need more practice saying prayers. He's like, so I'd say, will you say a prayer? He's like, why don't you say a prayer? Why don't you say a prayer? Why don't you say a prayer? So we'd go back and forth, and I don't know. And
Oh, wasn't that cute? Why don't you say a prayer? Oh no, you say a prayer. What is this? What would that be? What kind of movie would that be? You know, you say a prayer. Oh no, you say a prayer.
so I don't know. It's just one time when I was on a trip at Havasu Pie, we were all getting on the road, and I think it was with Dan Freeman and his sister Desiree, and they were all like, Jodi, will you say a prayer? And I said, sure. And Travis was like, anyway, I didn't want to argue with them. So, anyway, what was I saying?
Well, he's the whole trust issue keeps coming back into my mind.
That was the big reason.
He was a big time flirt, and that's the one thing everybody says about him. He flirts a lot. Does he mean anything by it? No, not really. That's just who he is. He did have girlfriends here or there, and he was at a point in his life where he wanted to really start settling down. He felt like he needed to kind of grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Become a husband, become a father. That time had come, and he felt that time had come and gone, and he was falling behind.
He told me that too. He said he felt like his time was running out, and I told him that despite the fact that he's not going to be in a singles ward very much longer, he still has a lot of options. He's still a very eligible bachelor. And he just didn't see it that way. He was like, you don't understand. He was like, that might be true, but my chances are severely reduced once I turn 31. It was like this ticking time bomb.
Finding a good Mormon girl, was difficult because in that church, that most of the girls get married in early 20s.
Yeah. He said he didn't want to marry a girl in her early 20s because he said that he noticed a lot of pattern in the church with girls that married between 19 and 24, so to speak, would they'd start having babies and growing their family, and then they would look at their single girlfriends who are still having fun with no responsibilities, and they would regret getting married. And I think if you're strong in the church, it's not so much a problem, but
depends on who you surround yourself with too. If you surround yourself with the right people, it's a different story. But that's where he was. And did you guys ever discuss possibly getting married or anything?
When we were dating, we did.
Okay.
Once we broke up, he brought it up. He actually proposed to me a lot of times, but he wasn't serious.
He proposed to me a lot of times, but he wasn't serious. What does that mean? That it was a joke? He took you out on the end of the pier, or to like a rock on a cliff, presented you with a ring, and then said psych. What? Yeah, he proposed to me a number of times, but he wasn't serious.
I think he was serious once, and it was when we broke up, and that was really hard.
Remember, guys, to like, share, leave a comment at True Crime Metrix.
Because we were on the phone, and it was just like none of that stuff should be done on the phone anyway, but I was hundreds of miles away.
I don't know if there's really anything to see here, Maybe we should just go to the trial. What about opening statements? There's just so much when it comes to the trial to choose from.
And I told him that I loved him. We didn't say I love you during our relationship, but we said it afterward. It was weird.
Okay.
I said, this isn't, breaking up with him on the phone wasn't really the way I wanted to do it, but it was kind of a situation that had just come to a point where it just couldn't be ignored anymore. And
let's move to after the breakup.
Oh, okay.
What kept you in Mesa at that point?
I actually moved to Mesa a few weeks after we broke up.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the timeline goes, but I mean, if you want to call it our official breakup, shortly thereafter, it's like we were still seeing each
So
other.
you guys were
Yeah, we broke up, and I made a big scene about moving back to California. My mother flew down to help me with the U-Haul, and there was a big scene and drama. And then a few weeks later, I moved back, 5 minutes drive for him from his house, for work opportunities.
seeing each other, but it was a long distance type relationship.
It was always long distance when we were officially dating. We didn't re-date. We dated from about the beginning of February to about the end of June. So
Okay.
February, March, April, May, June, about 5 months total.
Okay. In June of 2007, you guys broke up, and then
June
you moved to
29th.
Mesa.
Yeah, I moved to Mesa sort of.
Most people, when they break up, they kind of go back.
Hey, remember to leave a like on the video, guys, because we're low. We're low. Well, maybe we should skip the video. What are people thinking? Because is there much to say? She just lies and lies and lies. It's like there's another lie.
I know, and it was, and plans were already in order for me to move there. I was already speaking with a friend who was, was going to be her roommate, and I was her roommate for a short time. She's kind of flighty. She's a great girl, though. I had talked to Travis about maybe going to Southern California instead.
Okay.
And he's really persuasive.
He persuaded you to stay there in Mesa.
He kind of was playing up all the advantages if I did come to Mesa, and if I did, he said, it's a great place. We could still see each other and hang out on occasion. This church is very strong. You'll make a lot of friends. And I already knew all this stuff prior because we talked about that. And so I went ahead and just made the move. It sounded at the time like a good idea.
And you guys continued to kind of see each other at that time?
Yeah, at the time I was sort of living more across town over by Greenfield. Do you know where that is?
Yeah.
It was up Greenfield near Broadway. Greenfield and Broadway were the nearest cross streets. And that's where the girl that I was originally talking with.
Yeah, she has fake boobs, Carrie Ann T. And they're not that great. There's you can find them online. We're not going to show them here, but they are available on the internet, along with everything else.
I moved in with her.
Yeah, it's kind of far from.
Yeah.
Travis.
Yeah. The thing about her, and just to give you a background of why I moved suddenly, she approached me the weekend after I got there and said, "Hey," she knocked on my door, "Can I talk to you for a second?" I said, "Sure." And she moved in with her boyfriend, and they were engaged.
Okay.
And she said, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know that Scott and I went to Vegas last weekend to tie the knot." And I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, we haven't told me."
Speaking of Vegas, guys, we got Nevada. We got another state on the map. Where is it? Let's check it out, guys. Oh, no. Yeah, here we go. Check that out. Oh, we haven't saved it? Oh, well, I did make Nevada red. Just imagine that Nevada is red right now. We'll get that sorted for next show. Yeah. Still going to have this cluster with Idaho, Utah, and Wyoming. Are we ever going to get there? Maybe.
But we didn't want to live in sin, so and she had already been sealed in the temple once and was waiting for her cancel, or
Yeah.
her
sealing to be.
Yeah, to be canceled. So they were going to have a civil wedding on a beach in Oregon, and they did that the following weekend. She told me that on a Monday or Tuesday. It was the beginning of the week, and she said, "The reason I'm telling you that is because I'm getting married this weekend."
And the details on how it happened. And it's something that you probably don't want to remember, but it's something that I need, because for me to finish a case completely, I need to know not just the details, but what was going through your mind. Because I need to present that as a full picture. Because if I don't feel that I've completed my job. Then my job is to speak for him, not anybody else. My job isn't to speak for you. My job isn't to speak for his family. It's to speak for Travis. And I know something horrible happened that day. Absolutely horrible. Something that could have been avoided. Whether something was planned, I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been avoided if he'd have invited her to Cancun. You know about those guys? Because it was all, he was taking this other girl on this business trip. He got a business trip, one of these prepaid legal council meetings or something, you know. And yeah, it was like with a +1 ticket. And Jodi was like, oh, is he going to take me? Is he going to take me? And he didn't. He took someone else. And Jodi found out and went nuts. Was like, you were taking someone else to Cancun. What about us? What about us?
No. Whether you planned it or whether it accidentally happened or something got out of hand, I don't know. All I can do is speculate. And I want to believe that you're not this cold-hearted person that could just go out and do something like this to somebody. I want to believe that, like a lot of people, things got out of control, and before you knew it, it was too late. That's what I want to believe. And that's truly from my heart. Because I sit here and I talk to you, and I'm talking to you now, and all those conversations we had on the phone, and I don't see a cold-hearted murderer like you would see on TV or that I've seen before sit across from me. That's not what I see in you. And I'm gonna call it begging. I'm begging you to at least come clean and tell me why. Because I don't want to leave here today not knowing. Because it's gonna follow me forever.
I wish that I had answers. I'm sorry.
You need to just let the answers come out.
There's just no reason. There's just no reason.
There's no good reason why this happened. There's never a good reason why somebody dies like this.
How many times was Travis stabbed?
More than I want to remember.
Yeah, a bunch. What was it? 27 stab wounds to the head, neck, and back, and chest. Jesus, what a butcher!
And I'm not going to sit here and show you pictures of him after the fact. I don't do that. That's not how I work. That is not for me to do. But eventually those photos will come out. Jodi. Jodi, we're here now. We're right here. I think you're feeling the reality in the moment now.
I kind of like that line. We're right here. We're here now. Kind of brings it home, doesn't it? You're talking to me, homicide detective, about the brutal murder of Travis that we know you did because we have proof.
No, I'm just feeling all of the things that I'm going to potentially miss out on. with my family, and I think of all the things that Travis's family is gonna miss out on with Travis. And he had brothers and sisters, and I have brothers and sisters. And he... It's not fair.
It's not fair, but this is where we are.
I mean, I know that he's in a good place, and I know that he's fine. I know that he's doing great. But what about all of his friends, all of his family that are here, and they're just going through all of this? And I know that it's temporary, but it's so very much right now. There's just no reason I would ever want to hurt him.
Whether you wanted to is a different question.
I'm just saying.
I don't think you wanted to. I really don't think you wanted to. This speaks for itself. It speaks for itself, Jodi. It goes beyond speculation. This is way beyond speculation. This is downright proof. But there's no backstory to it. All I know is that I need a story, or else it's just cold. It's so cold. You don't look like the person that would plan something like this. You're just not that person. I can believe other things, but not that. But without the truth, I can't paint another picture. And it's going to be up to the prosecutor to paint that picture. And if you want that prosecutor, and I've met him, and you don't want him painting that picture, because he is good at what he does.
You got that
I've worked with him before. And you allow him to paint that picture for you, it's not going to be good.
It looks like you don't really need anything. It just looks like, it looks like you don't even need a good prosecutor anyway. So, I mean,
You're right.
I have to maintain my innocence. I can't admit to doing something that I haven't done. And part of me wants to cop out and say it.
No.
Well,
If you're gonna cop out, it's because you're telling the truth.
well, that's not really copping
Okay.
out.
Yeah, I don't want you to sit here and tell me a lie to appease me. That is the worst thing you can do for me. But back there in that mind of yours is somebody screaming to get out and tell me what happened, but you just cannot.
He has done nothing but, I mean, except for some mean words that he said. People have said worse to me or just as bad. Except for that, he's helped me, he's given me money, he was selling me his car on the
Then why?
easiest,
Then why,
lamest
Jodi,
terms
why?
ever. There's no reason why.
It just happens.
There's just no
Well, I
reason.
have more work to do.
Can you give me a rundown of what's gonna happen from here?
Yeah, you're,
Like, just today, for example.
well, you'll probably be taken across the street to the county jail. You'll be processed through there. You'll be set in front of a judge, at least within 24 hours. And there's a warrant for your arrest, and the bond is $2 million. If you can come up with a $2 million bond,
Wow, they actually gave her bond? I forgot about that. $2 million. Could you get that in property assurance?
then the judge will decide whether to, accept that $2 million or not. At that point, we're gonna file extradition papers. Basically, our courts are saying that, hey, you have someone in custody on one of our charges. We want them brought back to Arizona, or at least allow us to come pick them up. And that's called an extradition hearing. You will be given the opportunity to either waive it and say, that's fine, I'll just go on my own free will, or you can fight it and say, no, I don't want to go back to Arizona.
What if I say I go on my own free will? Of course I would go.
At that point, the judge would say, okay, she's not fighting this, so come get her. And then we would go.
What if I did fight? Then what happens?
Then you would have a hearing,
Oh.
like a little trial.
So it just
not a
delays the
trial.
inevitable, basically.
It delays it.
And costs people, taxpayers money.
And then you'll be transferred over to Maricopa County Jail in Phoenix. And then you will start your court proceedings there.
And
I've already filed these charges. It went to a grand jury and a grand jury indicted you.
So it's all public now?
It's public record.
So does everyone know?
If somebody goes on and checks public record, they can check it. And they would come up with an indictment against you for murder.
But it's gonna be on the news tonight.
We don't report anything to the news.
Has his family called today?
They don't even know that I'm talking to you
But they've been calling every day.
every day.
Are you gonna tell
I
them?
talk to them every day. How would you feel if your little brother or little sister was killed?
I've been wanting to call every day too. I didn't want to look obsessive. So I just tried to limit it to once a week. Will I be able to see my family in Fort Cup?
I don't know.
Can
I don't know
talk
what
to
I
my
don't know
mom?
what their procedures are here at this jail in this county.
Can I talk to somebody about my affairs that need to be taken care of?
You'll have to do it over the phone, or they'll have to come visit you. I don't know.
I'd have to be over the phone because the person that would take care of my stuff lives far away.
Are we done?
How long is it all going to take? You said you already
I don't
filed
know.
paperwork.
I don't know. I need to go see. The procedures are different here in California than they are in Arizona. I'm used to the procedures in Arizona. So I'm getting help from this county and the deputies here in their system. So I need to get with them and find out how long it's going to take.
This is a really trivial question, and it's going to reveal how shallow I am. But before they book me, can I clean myself up a little bit?
You're going to be taken the way you are. I can't give you anything else.
How soon?
I don't know.
5 minutes? 2
I would
hours?
say within an hour. Okay, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 15 minutes. I need to go talk to my associates here. If at any time you feel like you need to tell me something, you just go ahead and approach me. Okay.
Can I use the bathroom?
Yeah, I'll get someone to come take you.
I'm not like violent and we're gonna run. It's Yreka. So, I mean, do I have to go in handcuffs everywhere? It's just procedure.
Whether you wrote a bad check or you're facing murder charges, you're gonna go in handcuffs. That's just the way it is. Okay? They'll take different precautions for different people. It's the same for everybody. So I'm sorry.
Who do I ask when I can start making a phone call or two?
Once you get booked into the jail.
Do you know how many I get?
If it's like ours, then they give you a phone and you can make collect calls as you want.
Oh. Okay.
Okay? Let me see if there's somebody to take you to the restroom.
It's not too urgent, but like maybe in the next 10 minutes everyone will need to go. with you.
All right, ready for the handstand. It was a pretty good one, as far as I recall. Look at this ADHD motherfucker. All over the place. Moving the printer paper. What's she doing now? She's ruined that song for millions of people, you know.
The stars are brightly shining. This is the day of our dear Savior's birth. He knows our need. Hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine. Oh, night when Christ was born. Oh, night. Oh, night. Night divine.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, isn't it? Not much to see here, guys. Or maybe she's going to do the ninja story now. That's good. Well, maybe not. Maybe we should wrap it up for there for the night, guys. We'll find some key points for tomorrow's stream. Skip right on through all this nonsense. Okay? So, yeah, very short stream tonight, guys. But I think that's as far as we can go with Jodi for now. Stevan Flores has told her the charges, told her he knows, and she's said it wasn't me. But now she's going to say, I was there. And that's why my DNA was there, because I was there. Because the ninjas came in and they said, you ever tell anyone about this, you're next. Oh my God. The picture she paints is so funny. I think she's what, 27 years old here? Yeah. Shows sometimes. Anyway, enjoy your night, guys. Take it easy. Don't be an Adelson. Laters.